All right, we're back here at the beautiful Aloft Hotel here in downtown Tampa for another Good Life Tampa Bay Spotlight segment. Today's guest is business mogul and entertainer, Rhonda Shear. Let's take a look. You know, for over 20 years, I've been very fortunate to do lots of celebrity interviews and stories on successful entrepreneurs. Yeah, I've even interviewed a few billionaires. In all my hundreds of interviews, I've never met anyone like the beautiful Rhonda Shear. As she approaches her 60th birthday, this award-winning international entrepreneur heads up her multi-million-dollar empire called Rhonda Shear Intimates, based in the Tampa Bay area, along with her #1 selling bra called the Bra, which has sold over 30 million units worldwide. You've seen her on infomercials and, of course, at all hours on the Home Shopping Network. Now, what's truly amazing is she, along with her husband, started the company in 2003 at a time when they were both struggling financially. Talk about an example about reinventing yourself. But this story only gets better. That's because Rhonda started her career as a pageant-winning beauty queen in Louisiana and ultimately competed in the USA and in international competitions. She had a brief stint in politics, graduated college, even applied to law school, and then went on to pursue an acting career in Hollywood, where she has appeared on countless TV shows and movies. She's modeled professionally, has appeared in Playboy, and was the unforgettable, outrageous, and sexy TV host on the USA Network's Up All Night, where she hosted over 450 episodes. And as if that's not enough, she's had a successful career as a stand-up comedian. I had a chance to sit down with the remarkable Rhonda Shear at the beautiful Aloft Hotel in downtown Tampa for this exclusive Good Life Tampa Bay Spotlight interview. I remember you in the days of USA Network and Up All Night, because I used to surf the channels and always, provocative wear would get me, stopping on the channel as many millions of others.
I was supposed to do that.
And I was totally amazed of all the things that you've done, your accomplishments, your experiences. But let me just kind of pick up this interview from the second phase. Let's start maybe in your mid-40s, that after 20 years of being disconnected from your now husband, Van, who was your junior high school sweetheart and high school sweetheart. You guys were apart for over 20 years. Pick it up from there. You ended up getting to your first marriage in your mid-40s. Tell me about that story.
I'm just crazy. I just go for things, apparently. Or I was really hard up. That would happen. No, I had hit my 40s and I said, gee whiz, I've kind of passed this by without getting married. Had a lot of long-term relationships and dated and loved that. And I love the freedom of it because it allowed me to flirt and it allowed me the freedom to actually focus on my career. I just didn't want, in my mind, anyone telling me what to do, what not to do. And I was living in LA and
partying like a rock star, dating rock stars, right?
I don't know if I was actually more of a homebody, but yeah, I went out and had a great time. But Van reached out to me and I was 45 at the time through classmates.com and I was actually on classmates.com looking for a girlfriend of mine, and I guess it popped up on his. I didn't join it, but it just popped up that someone from our class was looking around. So he saw my name and he immediately joined and emailed me. And I was seeing some guy at the time, a couple of months, and
you guys hadn't talked for over 20-some odd years, right?
No.
Oh my!
And I knew he was married. I'd run into his parents into the airport many years before at an airport, and they told me he was married with kids, and so I knew he was married and I knew he had children, but I don't think he knew anything about what I was doing. So he just reaches out and he sends this really cute email saying, love to get back in touch with you and blah blah blah. And then he gives me his phone number, his cell, pager back then, 14 years ago, smoke signals, So he eventually, about 3 months later, he was going to New Orleans or Louisiana. I was going to Louisiana to visit my family, and he lived there. So I said, well, why don't we get together over the Christmas holidays? And we did on December 27th, and that was 2000. And then we married 15 days later.
Oh my goodness, what did you wait so long for?
I know.
15 days?
I know. On day 7, he proposed to me, and he brought me a little piece of jewelry, and I'm like, that's pretty good. So, I don't know, it's really, I did not expect that. I was not looking for that. I really just wanted to torment him and see him again, and see what it was like to see the first guy you ever kissed, and mess with him. And he kissed me, and it was just like, it was just kind of magical because he was very different than everyone I had been seeing for the last 25 years. He was a father. He had been divorced a year.
Right.
So he came looking for his first love. And he told me he had never fallen out of love.
You guys at that time, you had been a career, you made some money, you spent your money.
I spent a lot of money.
He had built a technology, a software company. He was working with drilling companies.
Exactly.
And he was closing that down. He had child support. So economically, maybe the money wasn't really booming, but you guys, talk about your business endeavor and how you started that whole concept.
It's really funny because I was interested in intimate apparel. Someone had given me a tip that
because you built your brand and reputation being the
up
beautiful,
all night,
the sexy,
up all night, and I was given a tip that someone had left HSN in my category. It was a very small category back then, in the intimate apparel category, and that perhaps they were looking for a celebrity spokesperson in that category. So Van had started to build me a website for intimates.
Oh my goodness.
And it was just something that we took a shot at. I sent some things to HSN, and just very small quantity, things that I liked, but they weren't my design. I'm talking literally like the first couple of shows.
This is only like 11 years ago, right? In this whole concept.
Close to 13
years ago. Did you have any hesitation? Were you, going into business and entrepreneurial?
No, I missed Hollywood, and when I first, HSN accepted us because they knew my name, and we went on air and we sold out of 6,400 products in seconds, in minutes.
Oh my goodness!
And
right out of the box, you were
right out of the box. Right out of the box. And I'm just making jokes, and I'm happy to be on TV, and we'd been married like almost a year.
So in the beginning, you hit a home run right out of the box, HSN.
And then they asked us to come back, and I'm like, I'm ready next week. And Van's like, you need product. And I'm like, oh. So then we started reaching out to smaller companies, because no one at that time would help us. No bank would help us.
Right, you funded it.
Yeah, nobody. We were at the lowest ebb, so we were,
just getting started, right?
Yeah, just getting started, and newlyweds on top of that.
Yeah.
We just forged through it though. We got a dog, and we were traveling back and forth between California and St. Pete initially.
Right. Did HSN bring you to St. Pete?
Yes.
Tampa? That's why you came you found us.
And why we moved here is because we did buy this dog, and we were traveling with this puppy, and it was just, they were putting me on at 3 or 4 in the morning, and it was killing me.
That's
physically,
the HSN life, right?
It was the HSN life, but so we thought, well, maybe if we rented a place here that they would use us more, because with intimate apparel, it's not as seasonal as, some other brands in apparel. So sure enough, we moved here. We rented, and when we rented, they were putting us on all over the map, but at least we were here. So then we noticed 6 months we hadn't been back to LA, and we've been here officially living here since 2005. And the cool part about it is it really made our marriage stronger, because we never had fights over financial, and yet both of us, I had been limoed around in a semi-star or celebrity in LA, and had the money and shopped the Rodeo Drive.
Yeah.
I was just foolish. And Van, well, his was a series of life things, and perhaps not having that life partner that would push it also as well.
Right.
So we didn't have another choice. We really loved each other. We were really having fun at the same time.
You're starting up, you're having success, now you're growing your company. What are some of the keys?
Well, I really had a vision for the line, and I really had always been, even though I didn't major in design, I'd always designed my own costumes or evening gowns or things for my life and my USA Network days. And even before that,
you used to wear some wild stuff on.
I know, and that was like all my vision and stuff. And even prior to that, in the 80s, I had a really successful television career doing guest starring roles on,
I know.
You name it, from all those shows. I've had, and then I did stand up, and so I put my costumes together for that. So I always loved.
You had a connection to fashion.
I had a connection to fashion. I really did. I just never would have thought of majoring in it. It just wasn't in my mindset. Coming from New Orleans, and we're talking Mardi Gras and being around seamstresses and designers that design these really intricate costumes. So it was in my blood, kind of, but I never thought of it until I really fell in love with it.
What did you want the brand that you put your name on, what did you want it to represent? Because obviously you had a passion for it, you're saying.
Right.
So you obviously wanted to transfer a feeling to your customers. What was that?
Well, if it's comfortable for me and I like it, then there's going to be universally other women are going to like it too.
Right.
And so I designed for myself. Initially, all I did was just design
So if it worked
for my
you,
body.
you believed in it, it fit good, comfortable, that was the starting point.
Then we started working with this factory out of Canada, they were great because they were in a very similar boat to us. And we actually went to Canada and would just sit with their people, and these are Santoni machines, so everything is done computer-wise. We'd sit with their computer department and design bras.
Talk about the #1 selling bra in the world that you created, the bra. Where did the inspiration come from? Take me through that process of bringing that to market.
Just comfort. That bra was developed out of that little factory. And so what would happen is we'd buy this bra and it would just scream on HSN for years. I mean, this is my side and my husband's side. I would go, oh, that's good. And Van kept sitting in the back going, that bra.
They're selling like hotcakes.
That bra, you can't kill that bra. It sells like hotcakes.
Wow.
And every time I get on, the numbers would just scream.
Wow.
So he said, I think this could be a good infomercial. I'm like, a bra? Even I was like, really? You know, we talked about it but you go to the infomercial companies and they want to own the product, so they'll give you 3%, and then they do everything. The air, they do the infomercial, and you just get a little
There's
tiny
a lot of investment into that, yeah.
You get a lot, you give up your product. He said, I don't want to do that. So we talked to a company out of Canada that was in the media business and had done some infomercials, nothing major.
Yeah.
And we did a 50-50 partnership with them, just on the bra, not with our whole company, but just with the bra. And
was it a half-hour infomercial?
It was a half-hour infomercial. So they produced it. We did it like really lean and mean. We did it in a boutique that we had at the time.
Oh, wow.
And Marie worked on it,
wow.
my right hand over there. Like, it was just all of us, we just all teamwork, put it together, and it went on there.
When you started that journey, was it scary that knowing now, obviously you look back now, over 30 million units worldwide, I think. Like,
you just don't know. Unlike the Snuggie and some of those infomercial products that come out of the gate being an infomercial product, we had seen the success of this
at HSN.
Right? At HSN.
Yes.
And also, so we did this a little different than most infomercial products. Most infomercial products are priced a certain price so that they go to retail and they continue to scream in retail.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to bastardize this product that was doing well at HSN. We didn't want to
that's right.
change the pricing. It was a quality product. It was not made to be an infomercial product. It was high quality.
Yep.
So we kept the price the same, and we made good offers on it, but we didn't make it an infomercial quality, lower product.
Yep. And you kept the integrity of the HSN partnership, which is important.
It was very important.
Yeah.
And so it screamed.
Wow.
Even at
or I should say, right.
It screamed at the same price. It was a good product, and it was kind of the beginning. It was totally a new bra on the marketplace. So it did really great. It did go to retail, but really, oddly enough, most of the success came via the infomercial.
Incredible.
And the infomercial running worldwide. So it was really a different footprint than anybody had ever done in the infomercial world.
Obviously, you're adding employees, there's a team that's around you that's supporting you. Talk about the development of the team, and how would you describe your leadership style in delegation and your team? And because you can't do it all by yourself, how do you make it happen?
We only have 20-ish employees.
20-ish employees.
And we are a great team. And it took a long time to get to a great team, and I'm referring to, you see me talking like this, to Marie Crane, who's my right arm, we got out of college, she's learned every part of the business. She's like family. I mean, which we like our business being like a family business.
She's awesome,
So, when you have someone who you can trust and that you feel like you can go out of town and you know it's going to get done, and they know the business and they know the icky parts along with the fun parts. She gets to do the fun, but she gets to do the icky too. And I think that's what it is. We all get in there and do everything. So everybody goes, what's your title? Well, we give titles, but we really don't need to give titles because everybody does everything.
Yes.
And leadership-wise, I'm an actress, comedian. So mine comes from, I'm the person who walks in and I'm the fun one.
Okay.
As Marie goes, shiny thing. So, I have no attention span, and I have the creative side. I mean, it's really the creative side is my,
all right.
I have the business side, but I am better doing it from home sometimes than in the office. I go in the office.
Understood.
And everybody, I disrupt. I actually disrupt everyone in the office because I'm, and Van is definitely more of the, he's the
So
firmer
can he be the
hand.
bad guy sometimes?
Yeah, he's the bad guy.
Okay.
He's not a bad guy.
Understood.
He's like a daddy.
We say that in a loving way.
He's like a daddy bad guy.
Okay.
We definitely obviously get a lot done.
Well, thank goodness there's a compliment between the both of you. Because if they were both that way, or of either or, then it wouldn't be so great.
What I have is what we both have is I have incredible ideas and vision.
Yeah.
And sometimes he listens and sometimes he doesn't.
Okay.
Sometimes he's listening but doesn't tell me he's listening.
Okay.
So, because
it's a husband trait.
It's a husband trait.
We acquire it.
It's also like a financial trait. Because if it was me, I would be doing a million more things than we're doing at this time. Because
you're just
I'm
spinning.
always thinking. And the cool thing is that I usually get my way eventually. I'm saying that, being cute, but in terms of developing. So we have to keep developing. Yes, HSN was our biggest customer. They're still a huge customer for us, but we're all over .coms. We're all over, we are in retail. We're looking to grow that footprint even more so.
Continue to build your brand and expand. Now you also hooked up with Hef's latest wife. Talk about that.
Well, actually, they reached out to us, which is really cool because I've been in Playboy, and Playboy has circled my life, my whole life. It just has. I've never been a Playmate, but I've been in the magazine.
You've been in the magazine a few times.
Right?
Yes.
So anyway, with Crystal, her manager reached out to us, and I knew him from my years in Hollywood as well, and I was really excited because it would make Playboy full circle for me.
Yes. Really.
And I didn't know Crystal at the time. We met with her and developed a line with her, and that's launching. I'm launching with her in December in Canada, and HSN's is launching her as well. Starting with .com, and then we'll see if we'll do a full launch with her there, or we want retail for her as well. We're also not even in development. We're actually now going out launching the Cato line of slackers.
Let's talk about that, because I have and I thank you because I got my slackers in the mail. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you and Cato. I took some pictures. I tried them.
So comfy.
I love them. Cato told me that the story was that you guys were at the Playboy Mansion in the pajama party. You guys are talking about ideas. And then you said something to him about, hey, you should really do something. He talked about
he's really fashionable. He dresses great. He's got an incredible eye for fashion.
Yes.
He's a boomer. He looks amazing. He looks so much younger than his age. He's in great shape. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He's never done drugs. He's not the bad boy that people think at all. So we started collaborating, and he had a lot to say about it and a lot of input into the line. it was my idea to go, I think we should do loungewear for men. But he had a lot. I mean, to the point I'm like, I don't know if I like that. I want to do this. No, but it's good. It's good. You want to have a celebrity that's not just a celebrity, but someone who's helping to design the line. And he did, and he has.
And within a week's time, he said that you flew him here to Tampa Bay to come and
start
talking.
We got it done fast.
Wow.
And my husband believed in it. My husband liked him, and he thought, there's no doubt that it's a harder sell for men because men don't tend to buy as much for themselves as women when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, I buy all my husband's underwear and things, and we're probably going to add some underwear to his line as well. Because women pick that up, and it'll probably be harder to get him initially on shopping television. So we're going to go for the quirkier stores, retail, and younger, skewing a little younger. Because it's fun. It's slackers. There's pockets for your remote control and potato chips.
I know. I've got them.
It's just. And if you go into retail right now, we were really on trend with this, not even knowing it. Retail, any of your major stores has upscale loungewear that you wear as slacks like to work. But it looks kind of like sweatpants. So but like really expensive. So we're going to be in the right price range with him. It's going to be really good. The hang tags and the catalogs we're doing are so awesome. I think it's going to hit home with every guy. Every guy who's ever sat in front of a television watching a game is going to want to lounge around in this. Or at least some girl's going to want to buy it. We'd like to also launch it as a female line too, so it's so that women can buy it as well.
Perfect, incredible. You've been honored, awards, business awards. You've built this mega empire. What keeps you inspired to continue? Because you just say the best is yet to come.
My young people. I love that they have great ideas, and I listen to them. A lot of people just shut. You have to stay relevant, and so being around young people. My stepson's in the business too. Yeah, I feed off their energy, and I like thinking and feeling young. Although, man, I don't always feel young, but it's true. I like having my foot in it all. Like, I can't imagine retiring unless for some reason physically I can't.
Understood.
My husband always talks about, you need to save so we can retire. I'm like, you like this just like me. He's up and out early in the morning. And so
you're engaged, you're having fun of what you're doing. That's the best part
and I
about
think that, I want to do, sometimes I want to spread a little bit too thin, but Dan will pull me in.
Do you feel like you've made it? Do you feel like you're a success? Do you feel like...
I can tell you how I feel successful because I have my dream house. We're living in my dream Barbie house.
Okay.
So that part, I walk around the house and I pinch myself, and I'm very appreciative. Yeah. Because my parents were working.
What do you say to yourself as you're walking around the house?
I thank God, and I thank, and I pray for health, and I thank the people that work for me, and I'm appreciative. And but making it, I would have to get cast in a sitcom in Hollywood to feel like I really made it.
Really?
And that's not happening.
Okay. Never say never. Never too late to start.
I'm waiting for
Rhonda, you proved that.
I'm still waiting for that call from Hollywood, and I haven't gotten it yet.
What do you like most about our community and where we live?
I find this a very entrepreneurial, very interesting community, because you think at first that it's just beachy, and it's just because it's flip-flops, and I love that I can kind of relax here myself. In LA you couldn't, but all these business meetings and all these people here blow my mind. I think they all found the secret that on the West Coast this is a great place to live. It's got a little bit of everything, a lot of everything. It's got sports, it's got theater, it's got everything that you want, but yet there's a lot going on here quietly. Instead of LA where it's loud, or New York where it's loud, there's a lot financially going on here, and a lot of companies are here, and I love that. And I'm constantly amazed at these business meetings that I'm invited to over the people that have decided to start or bring their companies here. So we love it. We brought it because of HSN initially, not realizing where we were, thinking that, oh wow, we'd be able to get a house on the water really inexpensively. Yeah, it's not. It's a great town, and then we have the Bill Edwards, who people that are people that are doing just amazing things for this community, and it's fun to be part of it. It's fun to watch. We actually live in St. Petersburg. It's fun to watch St. Pete actually grow since we've been here. Oh, it's like so neat. Yeah, it's like my own little Beverly Hills now. It really is. It's a sense of that little Rodeo Drive there on Beach Drive, walking. It's really spectacular, right on the water. And you can still wear your flip-flops. Yeah. Absolutely. And not have paparazzi. Yeah. Well, let's do this. Let's take a break so we can pay for this show. Okay. Take a commercial break. And we're going to come back and we're going to talk about your roots from Louisiana to Hollywood, because I just can't stop. There's too much to know about Rhonda Shear. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
What is your time worth?
Driving by the mall and coming to the Golden Diamond stores could save you thousands of dollars.
If you live in New Tampa or South Tampa, don't throw your money away. A little drive could save you a lot of money.
And you don't need a life jacket to cross the Howard Franklin Bridge. And we've timed it. It's only 10 minutes from Tampa to Golden Diamond stores. And that could save you thousands of dollars.
We do it by offering the largest selection of fine diamonds for you to choose from in the entire Tampa Bay area.
Get a bigger, better diamond
for less
at the Golden Diamond stores.
In the Zone TV has the experience to handle your project from concept to completion and deliver compelling video communication that grabs audiences' attention.
Together, we can create a visual message that can dramatically improve your bottom line.
In the Zone TV, video production with marketing power. Dr. Sejan and her team at Health and Psychiatry help guide people back to well-being as they provide an oasis for steady healing of mind and soul with their holistic approach. Their practice is based on hope, health, and harmony. They do have a convenient Clearwater office. For more information, check out their website at healthandpsychiatry.com or call them at 727-733-6111. All right, we are back now, getting started. Let's take you back now to Louisiana, New Orleans. And you were in pageants. You were in Miss USA, I think. You were Miss Louisiana. And oh my goodness. You went on to Miss International. And you were doing it. You were making some things happen. But also you went to college too, didn't you? I did. Tell me about that. I did. Well, I was actually really kind of a shy kid, but I loved dancing. And my mother was a dancing school mom, so she had my sister in dancing school, and I was in dancing school. And I wanted to be a choreographer. That's what I wanted to be at that time in life. So there was this huge dance contest, Miss Dance of Louisiana, and to get ready for that, I started entering local pageants. And, oh my goodness, like it would be just parks and Miss Fraternal Order of Police. Like everybody they would have a picnic and they would have a beauty contest. Yeah. And so it was just kind of local stuff. So one pageant led to another, these little contests, and I kept winning them. And then when you're 16, it's like, oh, I got a crown and a trophy and flowers. This is pretty. Right. So then I became competitive, but not with the other girls, more with myself, you know. Okay. And I never did win that dance pageant, by the way. I went into it, never won.
But these pageants led to Miss Louisiana International, so I went to the Miss International pageant.
Wow.
Then I entered Miss Louisiana World. I went to the Miss World pageant. Bob Hope owned that pageant, so I met him at that point. And then I went to the Miss Louisiana USA, which is now that pageant's owned by Donald Trump. And so I placed, but I came out in the top 15, but never won any of those at the national level. I was short. I'm 5'3", and usually, even back then, girls were a lot taller.
Okay.
And then what happened is I was queen of something called the Floral Trail Society. Unlike a pageant that you win and you're voted on, this is something that your parents spend a little money on. It's faux debutante,
right.
And it was the Floral Trail Queen presided over the parks, and it was just a spring fiesta thing. Spring fiesta in Louisiana is a big thing in New Orleans, and it has to do with the whole debutante, that season. Well, anyway, long story short, I was Miss Floral Trail. At the same time, Playboy came through New Orleans and did a layout called Girls of the New South, and I was in the magazine.
Wow.
Picture this big, fully clothed.
Yes, yes.
Fully
yes.
antebellum dress, the same dress I was supposed to wear as Floral Trail Queen. And the Floral Trail Society saw the picture, and
they went crazy, right?
They went crazy and dethroned me. And so my sister, who's 16 years older than me, said, "You should sue them." I'm like, "Really?" And so anyway, I did. I filed an injunction to be reinstated as queen, and ended up with a 6-hour court case with the lieutenant governor. They were all speaking in my behalf, what a lovely girl I am, and I should not be dethroned, and I should reign as the Floral Trail Queen. So the judge said, "You can file for monetary damages, but I can't reinstate you as queen." So I certainly wasn't making enough as a local, I was doing commercials and this and that, but I wasn't doing enough that it would mean enough. Long story short, the guy that was president of the Floral Trail Society was running for office the following year, and then my sister, who's mischievous once again, said, "You need to run against him." And I'm like, "No," and then I did. I listened to her.
Are you serious?
I ran against this guy and lost by 135 votes. The office was Register of Conveyances, which records the real estate transactions for the city. And darn it, that guy didn't stay in office till about 4 years ago. So I went back and applied to law school and was accepted, except my eyes were on Hollywood. My eyes had been on Hollywood ever since I was 19 and went to...
So you went to college and then you applied to law school?
Yes. But I had gone to Los Angeles. I went to Loyola in New Orleans. But I had gone to Los Angeles when I was 19 for the Miss USA pageant. After the pageant, they would use their different state girls for different modeling jobs, and they asked me to represent a jewelry company that was one of the sponsors of the pageant.
Okay.
The job was in LA. I went out to LA. They put me in the Beverly Wilshire.
Yeah.
And I had never been there, and I was alone, and I was like, so the publicist that was handling Sarah Coventry Jewelry, his wife was the casting director for Happy Days. And while I was there, he said, "You should meet my wife, Pat. She cast Happy Days." Now, I'm 19. Happy Days is at its height.
Friday, was it like 8 o'clock on Friday?
It was at the height. This is, before I finished college.
Yeah.
I was 19 or 20.
Yeah.
And I met her, and she says, "We're reading for the Christmas episode. You should go in and read." And I'm like, "Are you kidding?" Like, I went out here to model, to do this gig.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I am reading with Henry Winkler and Ron
goodness.
Howard.
What was that like?
It was terrifying.
Was it?
Because, I hadn't majored in acting. I'd done acting here and there, and I had a theater, I was in a theater course at Loyola. It was just really, I was still really young, and I read okay, but I got really nervous in the reading because I was reading against two of my idols who, that moment was the moment that all I wanted to do was to get back to LA, because I thought everything was like Beverly Wilshire and Rodeo Drive, and I was being taken out to these great restaurants, and I was meeting celebrities all like in a 4-day period. It was just like overwhelming.
Wow.
So funny thing is, Happy Days was like the second thing I got in LA, and not related.
So you got the gig.
I did not get that gig.
Oh, you didn't get
I did not get.
Okay.
I actually overheard, though, because I have big ears, them saying, "Oh, she's adorable, but she's just not seasoned enough." I actually overheard the casting director saying that, but they liked me. And then when I got back there a few years later, at 22, show was still on. It was getting closer to the end of it at that point.
And you were Fonzie's girlfriend, right?
I was Fonzie's girlfriend.
Fonzie's girlfriend,
and I ended up kissing Ron Howard.
Yeah, I remember you.
So I was on 3 different shows, so it was really cool. The very first thing I did was a Bob Hope special, and that my agent sent me out on an audition, and I thought it was
Tell me
just,
about that go-see to Bob and his daughter, wasn't it?
That was, yes, and that was fun because I thought it would be an audition, and it was be just like it was like a 750
casting call.
Yeah,
huh?
it was a total cattle call.
Yeah.
So I get in front of him, and he's talking to me, and I've got pictures of this, which were really cool. But from NBC, I went and found in their archives, and
yeah,
I got
cool.
these pictures,
Oh,
and
classic.
my pictures in front of him, and his daughter's smiling, and he asked me questions, and I said, oh, and I'm a dancer, and I danced, and he says, you're a dancer, and I did a kick, and my shoe flipped off, and I almost hit him in the head, and landed next to him on the table.
On purpose?
No, not on purpose. It was like a little slide. It flipped. I'm like,
So you almost hit him in the head?
also that I made a joke of whatever joke. I almost hit him in the head, and
What did he do?
I got cast. I was one of the 6 girls. And then I always said after that, you have to catch their attention. Once you have your attention, have them looking, show them you're talented.
Marketing 101, catch their attention.
Catch their attention.
Up all night. What was that
Hollywood,
casting?
finally I got into stand-up. I finally said, I'm going to do stand-up. And that kind of broke new territory as well, because there was a few women out there doing stand-up. Of course, Joan Rivers and all those people, but there was a few people after that. But mid-'80s, there still wasn't that many females in comedy, that new genre. So I started in 1984, 85, and I dressed on stage sexy, and I said, I'm going for it sexy. I'm going to be me. I'm not going to fight it. And of course, people in the industry said, forget it. You have to look funny to be funny. You don't anymore, but back then, you
That was
had
the
to
advice.
no
Right.
makeup,
Right.
jeans, dress it down,
Right.
and I wouldn't do it. So I proved them wrong. Eventually, I headlined, and did still continue. That's if anything. If you ask me who are you, I think I would say comedian first. Finally, I was able to just go to be me. So I get this call to do Up All Night. They were replacing the female that was on there, and they wanted sexy and over the top. At least that's what I heard from my agent. In the meantime, everybody else showed up to the meeting, the interview, in business suits, thinking it was like a hosting, like newsy.
Okay, so you just knew it was a host, right? That's all you
they heard it was a host. I kind of had a little bit of an inside track, and I knew that they were looking for sexy. Although I thought the girl that was doing it was great. She's more today than I was back then. I did a throwback.
Yeah.
I always give her credit because there's people out there that love her still. She was only on for a year, and I don't know what happened to her career after that. But anyway, I went in there with a low-cut dress in the front, low in the back, big hair. I created the character. Blow drying. I brought a blow dryer, plugged it in, and started blow drying my hair.
And your audition.
And they loved me, and I got it. I mean, it took a couple of months, and they called me, and then I've become I became friendly with those producers and people. And one of them, several of these people I'm talking about will be at my party.
What's the
next month.
craziest thing, during that 450 episode experience? What was a crazy moment that you
people ask me that. There was so many shows. We taped every week for almost 8 years, so there was just so many crazy. There was so many crazy live moments because we did everything. We did things in a studio setting. Max von Sydow was in my bed. Barbara Walters I interviewed. I mean, you name it. I interviewed everybody you can think of in Hollywood and in films, because I covered a lot of movie openings too. I mean, we covered things, and then we did specific sketches. The show changed and morphed through the years. It went from covering things that were late at night to doing stuff totally in the studio, bringing people in. And then the show moved to New York for the last 3 years. And when we were in New York,
really?
I didn't move to New York, but we would travel and we'd crank out 4 shows at a time. Those shows, for me as an actress personally, were my best times because I got to do impressions and I got to do things that were a bit more
It's almost like you do
comedic.
anything you want, right? You would just
We
have
got
fun.
away with murder on
my
that show,
goodness.
yet it was a cash cow for the network. And years later, producers would tell me, and people from the network still,
wow.
USA, Up All Night, made more money, Gilbert Gottfried on Saturday, and funded more shows than anything else.
Wow.
We were this little show that was a major cash cow.
What would the current business mogul, Rhonda Shear, with all these great life experiences, say to the young Rhonda Shear in Louisiana getting ready to embark on LA and Hollywood? What advice would you give?
I'd probably say what my mother would have said: marry rich.
Simple.
You can't do that anymore. You really can't do that anymore.
You would have saved a lot of work.
You can't do that, but the problem is you really can't. Everybody has to work now. I mean, couples, actually even men that have that wealth, like a wife that works. So and those days are just over. What would I say?
So you probably would say that.
I would kid and
crack
say
yourself
that.
up.
I
right?
would kid and say that, but
you would laugh to that.
I would kid and say, but I would say definitely get your education.
Get your education.
Definitely get an education. Go all the way through. That's so important. And try to be open, because you do change career usually and want to change things. Not necessarily you start.
So you got to be able to go and improv. You got to be able to. You got to roll with the punches.
Take all those early jobs. Listen to older people.
Okay.
Embrace your elders, because a lot of times kids don't do that. They think they know everything. Listen, learn from them, and go in any little job you take. And that's why Marie's really good. She was working 2 jobs like at 15. I think people who work young are really smart. I was working, but I was within my world. I did every modeling job. I did every commercial job. I mean, 14 and 15, I was working on a regular basis.
Wow. What would you say if you look to the future, like 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What do you see with your life and what you're doing and going, and what's the vision?
I just want to be healthy. I want to have the energy to oversee more. Maybe perhaps what I'm doing.
Oversee more.
Step back and oversee the young people doing a little bit more.
Gotcha.
Being able to maybe not go on air as much, maybe to see some of the other younger people stepping up.
What do you want people to know about Rhonda Shear?
Just I am who I am. You can come to me, I'll give you advice. I'm a really down-to-earth person. I'm happy where I am now. And I'm the same girl that I was. I'm still shy one-on-one. I mean, not one-on-one. In a party, if I walked into a party, I would be shy. I wouldn't work the room like a lot of people do. I'd sit, So I'm humbled, and I'm really appreciative of everything that's going on in my life.
Wow, what an incredible and fun interview with Rhonda Shear. From the beautiful Aloft Hotel here in downtown Tampa, that's a wrap for Good Life Tampa Bay. I'm John Mejia.
Oh my goodness, I love H and I love Good Life Tampa Bay. I've never had more fun. Oh my goodness, and there's some things I learned about H as well. Tune in.